Join him in there, Courtney. Thanks so much for that live report.
That's a good idea. I know many folks in the FM area are wondering when this storm may impact them. First Alert Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson joins us now with details. Hutch.
First Alert Weather Day continues as we have our blizzard conditions ensuing down south, and we do definitely see those concerns out there. The wind, the snow. No snow like that in Fargo, but look at Tenney down there, west central parts of Minnesota. Horizontal flakes flying there. And here is a look at a time lapse as I walk over the wall so we can highlight the details of hours of snow at the Dakota Magic Casino, all the way from 11 o'clock this morning, and it just continues to blow and snow there. Again, Sisseton, blizzard impacts, impossible travel, life-threatening cold for even a wider area than the blizzard warning is in effect for, and potential power disruptions could be a possibility as well. Heaviest snow focusing in Watertown to Sisseton. We do have a band just south of Cass County, Clay County, and well, the I-94 corridor right now as we head into the overnight hours. This extends out to the I-94 corridor in central Minnesota out toward the Twin Cities. Now, here's a look at the winds gusting over 35 miles per hour. We have dangerous travel conditions with no travel advisories across the region. We'll go over that here in a moment, but right now we have 30 to 40 below for wind chills across most of North Dakota, and the wind's not as strong in Minnesota at this point. Here's our snowfall prediction, and it does look like we're going to see, well, that 3 to 7 band along and south of Interstate 94 and Highway 10. Up to the north, rapidly decreasing amounts with an inch, maybe up to 4 inches on the far southern flank of that. The darker blue there, that's where we'll see 6 inches or better. A few of you could see near a foot as we get down toward the purples. The big snow, the 24 inches, that's central South Dakota in toward the Twin Cities. And points south, we'll keep you posted as far as that goes. But again, for the overnight hours, our best chance of snow really is supposed to begin here at about 10 o'clock. But looking at that radar, it's going to be just a little longer before we get started. The winds will be gusty as the snow falls. Overnight will be the worst, but it lasts into the morning hours as well. We'll have details on your blizzard warning, winter storm warnings surrounding that in red, and winter weather advisories, as well as that cold weather we're concerned about coming up here in just a few more moments.
All right, Hutch, thanks so much. And our team coverage continues now in Fergus Falls, Minnesota.
Valley News Team's Aaron Walling spoke with the road crews there and has a look at how the town was preparing for the storm.
Right now the wind is howling and the snow is coming in like a snow globe as crews are out and about trying to get ahead of this system, and they are asking for people to stay safe.
And I can't stress enough for people just to stay home.
Hours before a winter storm is supposed to hit the southern valley of Minnesota, crews in Fergus Falls are trying to get ahead of the system.
We made the decision not to do any pre-treatment with the wind and the temperatures. We just didn't feel it was going to be effective, so we're just kind of in the wait mode right now.
The city's public works say they're going to hit the streets at 2 a.m. to tackle the snow plowing. They're asking residents to remove their cars and trash cans from the streets prior to the storm getting there.
We've got the staff, we've got the equipment, and we'll handle it as it comes.
Meanwhile, the Minnesota Department of Transportation are already out on the roadways surveying I-94.
Crews are prepared. We went into 12-hour shifts as of yesterday, midnight to noon and noon to midnight. And just so we have trucks and staff on the roads 24 hours, and hopefully we can get through this.
They are asking drivers that take the interstate to be cautious and slow down because they've already had a truck rear-ended on Tuesday.
People drive way too fast in bad conditions.
Reporting in Fergus Falls, Aaron Walling, Valley News Live.
Thanks, Aaron. We'll check in with Aaron and other teams throughout the region tomorrow morning on the Valley Today.
And our team coverage continues now in Minneapolis. We've got to show you this. It's a nearly empty MSP. Check it out.
So this is a first for me. I've never seen MSP a complete ghost town. It's looked like this for the last several hours now. That's because over 500 flights were canceled today from the snow as well as the strong winds. That was a huge issue that flights were contending with today. They narrowed it down just to one runway for arrivals and departures. A lot of cancellations, over 500, which is well over 50% of the normal daily traffic that is through MSP. And the delays and cancellations are going to continue into tomorrow, so you have to be prepared for that. But they're trying to rebook as many people as possible. I talked to a lot of Minnesotans who are going to warmer places, and they are just begging to make it to those locations. I don't blame them.
We don't blame him either. That was Mariel Mose reporting. Driving tricky tonight, too. Here's a picture from Highway Patrol of I-94 near Castleton, showing near zero visibility tonight. The highway now closed in that area.
That's one of two big closures right now. I-94 is closed from the west side of Fargo, the Cheyenne exit, all the way to Bismarck. I-29 is also closed from 52nd Avenue south to the south side of Fargo, all the way down through the South Dakota border, all the way down to Sioux Falls. And 13 connecting I-29 to Wahpeton, that is also closed, and most of southeastern North Dakota under a no travel advisory right now, though it does get better as you get points further north. Grand Forks, you see some scattered snow up towards Minot. Things are normal right now. In Minnesota, it's a little misleading. I-94 still listed as normal travel conditions until you get down to Elbow Lake, almost Alexandria. We see some scattered snow, but that's misleading because driving is tricky right now. Visibility is very low, less than a quarter mile. We're seeing less than a tenth of a mile in spots. And once you get off I-94 on roads down towards Wahpeton, Wheaton, Elbow Lake, you'll see more snow-covered roads as well. And certainly a mess down towards the Twin Cities. We'll keep posted throughout the night and the morning as these conditions change.
We've also been getting calls from a lot of area schools announcing closings for tomorrow. Fargo closed, West Fargo remote learning. Here's a live look at the closings on our website, valleynewslive.com. More than a dozen churches also canceling Ash Wednesday services tonight. You can see the latest list of closings on your VNL News app and your VNL weather app. We want to make sure you have the most up-to-date information right at your fingertips. Watch video updates, the interactive radar, and an hour-by-hour forecast. The man police described as extremely dangerous following a deadly shooting at a Cheyenne bar has been found and taken into custody after 3 days on the run. A local farmer spotted 45-year-old Nicholas Poitras walking near his farm and held him at gunpoint until police got there. He's facing 11 charges, including murder, unlawful possession of a firearm, possession of a short-barreled shotgun, 7 counts of terrorizing, and 1 count of robbery tied to a February 19 homicide at Rindy Cheyenne Bar, where 30-year-old Troyell Thumb was shot in the head. A South High School student was taken into custody today after a search found he'd brought illegal items, including an unloaded BB gun, to school. In a statement from Fargo Public Schools, they say a teacher suspected the student was under the influence of marijuana. A search was conducted where illegal items were found and turned over to the school resource officer. The school didn't specify what items were found, but said at no time today were any threats made.
New tonight, a 19-year-old has been charged with third-degree criminal sexual conduct after he's accused of forcing a 15-year-old girl to drink alcohol before engaging in sexual intercourse. Court documents state in October of 2021, Dustin Olson threatened to tase the victim after she declined to drink an alcoholic beverage he had offered her. And the documents claim he later raped the victim while she was in and out of consciousness. He's due back in court March 15th.
Also new at 10, North Dakota lawmakers advanced another set of bills related to transgender people. The House passed 2 bathroom bills. One would require school districts to establish a policy to provide separate restroom accommodations for transgender students. It also bans trans students from using bathrooms that don't align with their sex at birth.
I have 9 granddaughters, and I sure hope that as the oldest one goes to middle school, that she is not confronted in a locker room by biological males at the age of 11 or 12.
But it is not their intention to take advantage of people or to violate other people's space. It's literally to be able to use the bathroom.
This latest bill, along with others related to sports participation, birth record amendments, and health care, have all passed with veto-proof majorities.
Still ahead tonight, with this week's historic storm, potentially historic at least, making its way through the Midwest, we look at who actually decides whether or not to close interstates.
But next, we're going to talk about our blizzard warning that encompasses the Highway 200 corridor, points south all the way beyond Sioux Falls and from the James River Valley toward the Twin Cities. Your hour-by-hour forecast includes a lot of wind and snow, a lot of cold for all, but who sees the most snow? Details next. Thanks for joining us on this First Alert Weather Day. Heading into your Thursday, we have some very, dangerous, downright dangerous weather for travelers. If you don't have to travel, just stay put. And even in areas here that are not in any of the, wintry weather advisories, like the blizzard warning from Highway 200 and Point South, or the winter storm warning and winter weather advisories, we have cold weather to worry about elsewhere. And we have winter temperatures that will bring wind chill down to 50 below in the warning area here in pink, and to about 35 to 40 below at times in northern parts of Minnesota. Here, there are no temperature advisories or warnings, but we will still have some very nasty wind chills in our area as well. If you must travel, make sure you have the Valley News Live weather app and a phone charger with you wherever you go, and a survival kit, super important out there as well. And again, keep in mind, you can get the latest on closures and delays and road conditions right on the Valley News Live weather app wherever you go. Right now, we have some windy conditions at Hector. We have gusts over 30 miles per hour, 4 below, making it feel like 30 below here. It's cold. We have some of that fluffy snow that's been blowing around and keeping things quite slippery here in the valley. Quick look at roads. I-94, Bismarck, Fargo, red, that's closed. And then all the way down from Fargo to Sioux Falls, that's closed. The purples here. No travel advisories for the eastern Dakotas and southwestern Minnesota. Impossible travel, life-threatening cold, and those power disruption potentially an issue through the overnight hours and into your Thursday. Reduced visibility where the snow is really falling right now. And as we showed you earlier, our time lapse at the Dakota Magic Casino here in southern Richland County at the state line has been showing snowfall since 11 o'clock this morning in that area. Temperatures are coldest in Langdon. It's 13 below there, 6 below Grand Forks, 0 Thief River Falls, and that 0 degree line all the way to near Sisseton and that Lake Traverse area. Otherwise, we're 5 to 10 above across Minnesota. So check this out. Factor in the wind chills, 30 to 40 below at this hour. At times we could dip down into that 50 below category. That means exposed flesh, your ears and hands can freeze, or frostbite sets in 5 minutes or less. Again, survival kit a must. Check out the cutoff of the snow right here, southern parts of Clay County, Stutzman County, that Steele area out there in Kidder County seeing some, but the heavier batch of snow, Sisseton and Point South out towards Aberdeen, through Marshall, Minnesota, St. Cloud, a very healthy band working its way in there, as well as the Twin Cities, where they're expecting some lofty snowfall totals. There's more snow on the heels of this down to the southwest as well. We're not done yet, even though the flakes haven't begun to fly. Now, if you joined us earlier, we said be where you want to be at 6 o'clock. That's when the snow really pushes into our southern counties. That's been true. We haven't seen flakes fly here, but our model hasn't said it isn't going to start until about 10 o'clock. Watch what we're expecting overnight, the potential for bands of snow. The darker blue is heavier. Most of the dark blues stay to our south, but we have a prolonged period of snow from the 10 o'clock hour right through midnight, 2 a.m. Our southern counties seeing snow. Northern counties not so much. Nothing in Grand Forks through 2 a.m. Then after that, a chance for some light snow on Highway 2. And Point South is where things will be heavier. Very heavy at 5 in the morning along that I-94 corridor right through the Twin Cities from Otter Tail County, Grant County, and Douglas County, Minnesota. The heavier band of snow continues as we go through the 7 o'clock hour. Gusty north winds over 40 miles per hour. And then as we head into the midday hour, it won't take long and this thing dries up and moves out, but the wind sticks around throughout the day. And it looks brutally cold all day with wind chills. So heaviest snow, 3 to 7 inches. Notice Fargo's pretty close, that 3 to 7 category. I think 3 to 5 is a good bet for us. Rapidly increasing, dark blues, 6 inches plus. And the plus will be closer down to the purple here. We'll have that shot of near a foot near that Hankinson area. Southern parts of Otter Tail County could see some significant snow as well. We'll keep you posted. Check with our team positioned in southern Richland County and Otter Tail County, right where we're expecting the worst of it. 30 to 50 below for wind chills in the morning with snow and wind continuing. In the afternoon, the snowfall will end, but the blowing will not end and the cold will be relentless. In fact, it'll be, face-slapping cold on Friday. 21 below air temperature in Fargo, colder still up north. A nice moderation. Check this out, 11-day bonus coverage right there, Thursday through Sunday, and temperatures closer to 30 degrees Friday through Sunday. Can't rule out a few flakes in the forecast, but nothing like we're seeing here in the next 24 hours for particularly our southern counties.
There is light at the end of the tunnel, but it's way out there.
Yeah, also just getting word from the Cass County Sheriff, Highway 10 between Mapleton and West Fargo closed. He says several vehicles stuck right now.
They're trying to get around the closed interstate.
Right.
and
You
they're
know,
getting
those
stuck.
north winds, they just go across those east-west oriented roads. Watch
Thanks,
out.
Hutch. Coming up, who decides to close the interstates? We take a look, plus a look back at Minnesota's most historic storms.
Drowski tells us that decision isn't made lightly.
94, we feared this was going to happen, but the interstate is now closed.
When
between
snow
Glen
falls
Drive
and the wind
Bismarck,
blows,
and
it can
this
make
is
for
not-
hazardous driving conditions on North Dakota highways and interstates. When road conditions become too dangerous for drivers, the North Dakota Highway Patrol works together with the North Dakota Department of Transportation to make the decision to close. From the highway patrol officers to the plow drivers and maintenance supervisors, the planning and decision making to stop traffic is a team effort.
It's constantly a joint decision, and when we make that decision to for a closure, whether it's one in one specific area, it's done so through a lot of communication.
And all of these closures region-wide are going to remain in effect overnight.
Each storm is different and unique in how it begins and progresses. So the North Dakota Highway Patrol and North Dakota Department of Transportation use several different criteria to monitor not only the road conditions, but visibility as well.
But the coordinated ones with DOT are typically ice-related, heavy snowfall, visibility, or a combination thereof.
Lieutenant Derek Arndt says they use all the information available to them during bad weather, but when it's time to make the call, the best information they have are from their patrol officers in the elements.
I'm talking to our troopers on the road. They're talking to the plows. So you get real firsthand knowledge of what's going on out there.
This winter season has already seen record-breaking snowfall and cold temperatures to create perilous travel. Vehicles sliding into the ditch or semis jackknifed on the roads. Lieutenant Arndt said the North Dakota Highway Patrol has cameras so the public can see the road conditions in real time, but even those can be deceptive. He says to check the road maps and take travel advisories seriously.
That's Krista Kudrowski reporting. This storm could take the cake for highest snow totals in history in some spots, like the Twin Cities. Here's what the top 5 snowstorms all time in Minnesota.
Number 5, December 2010, that's the storm that caused the roof of the Metrodome to collapse.
Ooh.
Number 4, January 1982, 17 inches of snow recorded. Then, just 2 days later, another storm dumped an additional 20 inches of snow on the Twin Cities Metro. That one's number 3.
Second on the list, Thanksgiving weekend 1985, 21 inches of snow on a weekend. And number 1, the great Halloween blizzard of 1991. People still talk about that one. Reached a record total of 28.4 inches of snow.
Ooh.
Lots of snow to talk about. Hey, after the break, we got some playoff college hoops action in the cold weather. Highlights next.
Hip deep in playoff basketball all week for our high school teams. It's time for our college programs across the river to get on the action. The MSUM women competing in the opening round of the NSIC Championship Tournament, and they get to start the tourney at home. The Dragons hosting Concordia St. Paul. The Dragons facing an 18-point deficit at halftime of this opening round contest, but start to battle back in the third quarter. They're down by 10 now, but Mariah McKeever works over the screen and lets the jumper fly. That Concordia lead is cut down to single digits. The Dragons keep that going into their next possession. The offensive rebound sent right back where it came from by Taryn Johnson. MSUM giving themselves a fighting chance here, now only down by 6. But those Golden Bears, they just keep scoring. They have a double-digit lead again here in the fourth quarter. The Dragons get back at chipping away at it. Peyton Boom drives to the basket before kicking it out to Natalie Jens in the corner. She hits the three-point shot to make this a 12-point game in the final minutes. But the Golden Bears won't be denied. Reagan Alexander finds an opening through the post, takes this one all the way in. That's going to seal the deal. Concordia St. Paul advances to the quarterfinals with a 62-50 win. MSUM finishes the year at 14-13 overall. The Single A Girls Hockey Tournament for Minnesota is underway in the Twin Cities. The defending state champion War Road Warriors in action against Albert Lee. The champs get the scoring started less than a minute in. A perfect setup across the crease to Riley Bartz. She fires it in to put War Road on the board. Her day is just getting started too. The Warriors back on the attack with the 2-on-1. Bartz buries her second goal in 2 minutes to double that Warrior lead. Another War Road skater deciding to get in on the scoring party now. The steal deep in the enemy zone, fed over to Madeline Skogman, who fires it into the back of the net. The Warriors with a 3-0 lead, not even 10 minutes into this quarterfinal game. But they aren't done yet. We're still in the first period here. Bartz takes matters into her own hands, taking this one all the way in, dangles it past the netminder. She was North Dakota's leading scorer last year. Now she has a hat trick in the Minnesota State Tournament, a big moment for the former Spruan. War Road dominates the opening round here, advancing to the semifinals with a 15-1 win. That's a double-digit victory in the state championship tournament. The first, second, and third seeds all advancing today in the Single A bracket. War Road with their 15-1 win, Orono with a 6-0 shutout, and Proctor Hermantown with their thriller over Mankato East. Our final quarterfinal game came down to the wire, just ended right as I was coming out here. South St. Paul with a 1-0 win late in double overtime over the Fergus Falls Otters. Tournament picks back up on Friday. Our AA teams are actually in action tomorrow night at the XL Energy Center. The Moorhead Spuds, of course, in action against Gentry.
We could have had an all-local semifinal
So
there.
close. This close. Next year. There's always next year.
Travel to any of these playoff games a little tricky this
Very,
week.
very.
Hutch is back in with details, the latest on that winter storm next.
What you need to know as we head to bed, we have flakes starting to fly here in the FM area. Snow's just now pushing up. That's not far from when our model said around that 8 to 10 o'clock hour. More heavy snow has been falling throughout the afternoon, as you've seen by our coverage down at the Dakota Magic Casino. The heaviest amounts will be down south 3 to 7, rapidly increasing from Fargo and Point South, lower amounts to the north. Get the latest on the Valley News Live weather app on cancellations, closings, and the like, including forecast videos updated by our team. 7-day planner shows it looks a lot quieter the next 7 days, but still cold.
Yep, don't forget our team coverage picks back up tomorrow morning starting at 4:30 a.m. All your breaking news and weather with Jordan, Ashton, Lisa, and Jim.
Plus, multiple crews out in the elements gathering information to keep you safe. Nashay Taylor, Courtney Lockey, Alex Larson, and Aaron Walling all providing live reports tomorrow morning on the Valley Today from 4:30 to 8.
So in particular, if you're trying to see if you should go up to a certain state hockey tournament going on in Grand Forks tomorrow, like me, probably wake up early, see what's going on.
You know where to see what's going on. You
The
have no
Valley
excuse.
That's exactly right.
And the
Don't
Valley News Live
travel
weather
if
app.
you don't need to.
Yes, yes, very important.
Try to get home tonight. Be safe.
We'll see you tomorrow.